Hi everyone, today we're going to make these mini no-bake lemon cheesecakes. They have fresh lemon curd on top, cream cheese filling in the middle, and a graham cracker crust on the bottom. Now, as far as no-bake cheesecakes go, there are two main methods to do this. The first one uses gelatin, which firms up the cheesecake filling. The second method, which is the one that we're doing today, just uses refrigeration. So this is a very simple recipe and it gives you great results. This is Adriana from Tasty Pastry Kitchen, and if you like in-depth baking tutorials, go ahead and subscribe. Now let's go ahead and get started on this recipe. The first thing that we're going to do is prepare the pan for the mini cheesecakes. Now there are designated cheesecake pans which often have removable bottoms, and you can definitely use those, but those are more specialty pans, and I'm just a baking weirdo that collects all types of pans. I really think that the best option if you don't have these types of pans is a standard cupcake pan that has 12 cavities. So go ahead and take your cupcake pan and line each cavity with a paper cupcake liner. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is make a really simple lemon curd. To a small saucepan, go ahead and add your egg yolks and your sugar and stir that together. And you want to make sure that you mix the sugar into the yolks completely, because doing this increases the cooking temperature of the egg yolks. So egg yolks typically cook at about 160 degrees Fahrenheit, but when we add the sugar and then the lemon juice here, what we're doing is actually increasing this temperature to about under 200 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what's going to give us that really silky and creamy texture of a lemon curd. So then go ahead and add in your unsalted butter and turn your heat source on to about low medium heat. So the key thing to remember here is that you want to heat the lemon curd on low heat because it's just easier to monitor that way, and you also want to whisk the entire time. So we're whisking, slowly increasing the temperature of the curd while at the same time melting the butter. And throughout this process, you'll see that the curd gets slightly thicker. Don't be concerned though if your lemon curd is not as thick as you like at the end of this cooking process. I think a major misconception with lemon curds is that after you're done cooking, it should be as thick as like a finished lemon curd, which it never is. So you have to think about what's going on here. Proteins are going to coagulate just a little bit, so that's going to contribute a little bit to the thickness. Also, as you can see, a large component of lemon curd is butter. So while we're melting that, it's going to remain kind of in a liquid state, and while it's cooling, it's going to firm up a little bit, and that's what's going to contribute to a firmer lemon curd upon cooling, which is why people say it thickens upon cooling. There are a couple of popular methods to determine if your lemon curd is done. So the first method is the back of the spoon method, and that's when you dip the back of a spoon or spatula into the lemon curd and you can kind of determine its thickness and its opaqueness. So you want it to thickly coat the back of the spatula and you want it to be slightly more opaque. The method that I use is to use just an instant read thermometer, and so you want it to be a little bit under 200 degrees Fahrenheit. That means that the lemon curd is done. But I'd like to go ahead and show you guys, if you don't have an instant read thermometer, what the lemon curd will look like when it's done. So see how it thickly coats the back of my orange spatula? So that's what you want. Then turn off your heat source and add the smaller amount of lemon zest and a pinch of salt. Stir to mix and then give your lemon curd a taste. So when you think about the core flavors of a lemon curd, the sweetness is coming from the sugar and the sourness is coming from the lemon juice and the lemon zest. So if you want to tailor how sour your lemon curd is, you can always change the amount of lemon zest that you add at the end. You can't mess with the lemon juice amount because that's going to alter the thickness and the cooking ability of your lemon curd, but you can add more lemon zest at the end to make a really sour lemon curd. Now normally at the end of this step, I would strain the lemon curd to make sure that it's really silky smooth, but since we're using it for such a thin layer on top of this no-bake cheesecake, it's not really necessary, so I just go ahead and transfer it into a small bowl. And if you are not using it immediately, cover it with some plastic wrap so it doesn't develop that skin on the surface. So now we'll move on to making the graham cracker crust, and I'm just going to use a zip top bag and a rolling pin. You can use a food processor if you like. What we're just trying to do is smash the crackers until they're really fine crumbs. Then pour the crumbs into a large mixing bowl. Then add your granulated sugar, a pinch of salt, and the melted unsalted butter. And take a spatula and mix this around until everything is thoroughly combined. Now let's go ahead and make the cream cheese filling. So to the bowl of a stand mixer or a large mixing bowl that you can use a hand mixer in, go ahead and add the softened cream cheese and vanilla extract. And you're going to mix this on medium speed until the cream cheese is really soft and creamy. This is going to take a couple minutes. Then stop your mixer and add in your powdered sugar. Mix this on medium speed for at least 3 to 4 minutes. There's no specific science behind this. You just want to ensure that the powdered sugar has been completely incorporated into the cream cheese and is no longer grainy. So at some point, all of the powdered sugar will have been distributed in the cream cheese and you won't have any of those lumps, and it'll be really smooth and soft. It'll actually be kind of creamy in color because of the vanilla extract. And I usually like to give this bowl a scrape at least once during this process just to make sure that there's no powdered sugar left on the sides of the bowl. You can't really overmix this cream cheese filling, so I like to multitask at this point. So while this is mixing, I will go ahead and make my whipped cream in another bowl by hand. And it's actually really easy to do. All you have to do is pour in some really cold, heavy whipping cream into a large mixing bowl and then just use a whisk, and we're going to whisk this up into medium peaks. And the only thing you have to remember when making whipped cream of any kind is that the heavy whipping cream must be cold. The reason is because the fat molecules that surround the air bubbles that make up whipped cream must be cold or in a solid state so that they create these air pockets. If they're not cold, they're more liquid and therefore can't hold any air and cannot make whipped cream. Now, if you live in an environment that has really hot air or you have a hot kitchen, you want to take the extra step of also making sure that your bowl is cold and your whisk is cold. So sometimes I'll stick my bowl and whisk in the freezer before I make whipped cream because the air can also melt the fat molecules that hold up whipped cream. Just some extra tips just in case if you have some trouble with whipped cream. Now, once your whipped cream is kind of medium peakish, so it kind of looks like this, we can go ahead and fold it into our cream cheese filling. So this last step for the cream cheese filling we're going to do by hand. So go ahead and stop your mixer, and then to your cream cheese filling add about a spoonful of the freshly whipped cream and then fold it into the cream cheese filling using a spatula. Then take the rest of your whipped cream and add it into the cream cheese filling and fold that in using a spatula. Once you see that the cream cheese filling doesn't have any streaks of the whipped cream left, you're pretty much done and we're ready to start assembling the mini cheesecakes. The first thing that we're going to do is distribute the graham cracker crumb crust to the bottoms of all of the cupcake liners. Now, it might actually seem like we have a lot of graham cracker crumbs for just 12 mini cheesecakes, but I know from personal experience that a lot of people actually really like this part of a cheesecake. So I designed these mini cheesecakes so that they're about 1/3 graham cracker crust and 2/3 cream cheese filling / lemon curd. After you've filled all of the cupcake liners, we're going to want to smash them down until they're really compact because that's going to give us the stability when we remove them from the cupcake liners. So search your kitchen for something with a flat bottom like this little kid's cup, which fits perfectly, or you can use a measuring cup. My favorite tool for actually accomplishing this task is an identical cupcake pan. So you take that additional pan and press it on the top of the one with the graham cracker crust and just press down really hard, and then all of them are done at once. And so the next step is to add the cream cheese filling. And since we're going with the efficiency side of things, I like to use a small ice cream scoop because it perfectly portions out the cream cheese filling for all of the cheesecakes. And because we're not baking these little guys and the cream cheese filling isn't going to spread, we have to kind of neaten them up by hand. And the best way I've found to do this is to just use the back of a spoon, and then every time you work on a mini cheesecake, you just dip the spoon in some water to clean off the back, and that'll also prevent the filling from sticking to the spoon while you spread it around. Once the cream cheese filling has been flattened out for all of the mini cheesecake, you should notice that there's a little bit of room at the top, and that's for the lemon curd. Then take the lemon curd that we made earlier and give it a good stir, and you should notice that it is still in a semi-loose state, and that's totally fine because it's going to firm up in the fridge. and then pour lemon curd on the top of each cheesecake filling until it just reaches the top of the liner. Then I like to give the pan a little jiggle to distribute the lemon curd on top, but if it turns out that your lemon curd is starting to turn firm or is a little thicker, then you can just take the back of the spoon and kind of press it until it reaches all around the side of the cupcake liner. Let these mini cheesecakes set in the refrigerator for at least 4 hours, but they really are best when you let them set for overnight. To remove these set cheesecakes from the pan, just use a butter knife. Since we don't have a removable bottom, just be kind of careful with the sides when you take the mini cheesecakes out. And to serve them, I really think it's best when you remove the liner, because that's a really telltale sign of a cheesecake. It's being able to see those layers of graham cracker crust and cream cheese filling, and in this case, lemon curd. If you're just making these mini no-bake cheesecakes for snacking whenever, however, you can always just leave them in the fridge in their liners and then just take them out whenever you want to eat them. And then for these mini cheesecakes, I really like the combination of blueberry and lemon, and so I'll often top these right before serving with some fresh blueberries. So here they are, the finished mini no-bake lemon cheesecakes. Baking a traditional cheesecake can be notoriously difficult for beginners, or if you're just being lazy like me, you're gonna get 90% of the cheesecake dessert for about 25 to 30% of the work. These are really one of the perfect desserts because you have that salty bottom, and then you have that creamy interior, and then you have that burst of acidity from the fresh lemon curd on top. If you'd like to give this recipe a try, the full recipe is available on my website, Tasty Pastry Kitchen. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.